из нас выбирает дорогу, по которой идти. Тысячи фраз нас сбивает с толку во время пути. Каждый из нас.
Leprechaun Origins is a 2014 horror film that was just recently released, direct to DVD. I just had the chance to sit down and watch this fucking movie. It's a remake or a reboot of sorts to the original Leprechaun franchise, and to be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of the original Leprechaun movies. I've probably only seen those two movies where he went to the hood. That's the only ones I remember from that franchise. So to say that this was probably in need of a reboot is an understatement. But that brings us to this reboot, where the plot. What the fuck is the plot in this movie? Alright, we meet these 4 college kids who are backpacking across Ireland to look at historical landmarks and whatnot. They come across these Irish guys in a bar who say that they could help them out by bringing them to a cabin in the woods. So they think that's a great idea. But what a surprise, when they go to this cabin in the woods, they realize they've been set up and that there's this creature named the Leprechaun who wants to eat them. Now, what I thought of this piece of fucking dog shit fucking movie is just that. This movie is horrible. I hated this fucking movie. I felt like I wasted my goddamn time watching this for an hour and a half. Where do I begin? What's the worst thing about this movie? Is it the acting or the writing? Because it's almost at a dead heat. The characters in this film, there is no characters. There's no characterization to these people. The writing is atrocious because you never once get a chance to meet these people or to feel like you know them. There's no moment where you're like, oh wow, okay, that's what makes them different, or that's what makes them realistic, relatable. No, they're archetypes, they're so generic, lame. The acting is pretty fucking bad as well, but maybe I shouldn't blame them. Maybe it's because they weren't given anything, and maybe they knew it was just a bad movie, so they just fucking went with it. The only one of the actors that I recognized was Brendan Fletcher, who played David. I've seen him in movies like Freddy vs. Jason. He was on an episode of Supernatural. I've seen him pop up and stuff, so I think I was more ashamed for the guy that, wow, it's gotten this bad. Alright. And the guy who played the boyfriend, like, he was so wooden, dull, and nothing to him that a lot of these characters, I didn't give a fuck if they died. I actually was looking forward to their death. The main girl, Sophie, she's pretty. Hell, she's hot. So sure, there's that, but there wasn't anything to her. But forget all that. Forget the horrible writing. Forget the lame-ass characters. Let's talk about what we want to talk about, right? The Leprechaun. I'm sure some people are disappointed that Warwick Davis from the originals isn't playing the Leprechaun here. For anyone who watches WWE, because WWE, in fact, produced this movie, Hornswoggle is playing the Leprechaun. But it really didn't matter who was playing this Leprechaun, because this Leprechaun isn't really a leprechaun in the traditional sense. They tried to make it this gritty, dark, I guess realistic take, which when you see what this creature looks like, realistic is a laughable word to describe it. Between the horrible makeup, between just the Play-Doh-like effects that they used to try to make this creature, and then the way the camera has to shoot around this costume, because that's how bad it looks. It has to be at like a low angle and blurry lenses, and it never truly gives you a real look at this creature because that's how bad it probably looked on set. And it's just a mindless creature that growls and eats people. They try to set up this backstory that it was locked up in this area, and these people found the creature, and it was pissed off because some people took its gold. Again, when you say a realistic, gritty version of the Leprechaun, but then when these characters say it's named the Leprechaun and somebody took its gold and it's pissed off and it wants revenge until the deed is paid back, I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. At least the old movies knew how dumb they were. At least the old movies recognized how over the top and silly it was, and it just went for it. I'm sick of these remakes, especially films, these horror films that try to take themselves so goddamn seriously, because it's not scary. If it's going to try to be this serious, it better be scary. And there's nothing scary about this. It's filled with cliche jump scares up the ass. And when it comes down to seeing somebody get killed and ripped apart by this leprechaun, they never show it. They never once show somebody being eaten or devoured by the leprechaun. There's one scene where it rips somebody's spine out, and the effects look so cheesy, hokey, and horrible that I never got into this. This movie's horrible. Horrible. I can't describe this film in any other way but being horrible. Some people might say, well, what did you expect? It's a direct-to-DVD horror film. That's no excuse. Other people might say, well, it's a WWE-produced movie. Why did you even expect anything? I didn't. To be honest, I've given up on WWE movies a couple of years ago. But since they were getting back into the horror genre, I tried to give them another chance. Fuck. Did I waste my time. I do not recommend anyone check this movie out. Even if you're able to see it online for free, I'm telling you, stay the fuck away from this film. My rating, in case it was so hard to figure out, is a fuck you. Leprechaun Origins, go fuck yourself, you piece of shit fucking movie. Man, I haven't ranted on a movie like this in a good while. But this film deserves it. Let me know in the comments below if you so happen to have got bad luck and saw this film as well. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later.